Well, here we are in the Ayala Museum, located in the financial capital of Manila, in Makati. Over here we have the early hunters of the Cagayan Valley, and this is from 150,000 to 30,000 BC. As you can see here, they're having a good time hunting. Here we have Tabon Cave on Palawan. This is from approximately 50 to 30,000 BC. I've seen evidence in some of the other museums where they have found skulls. These are some of the earliest bones that they've ever found in the Philippines are located right here. Here we have the burial cave that was found in Palawan, approximately 200 BC. You can see the burial urns and the small coffins and whatnot. Over here we have pottery, making pottery. This is approximately the same time, 200 BC, and this is in the Bicol area. As you can see over here, they got the clay. And on down the assembly line. Until they fired the pots over here. Here we have the rice terraces of the mountain provinces, which were construction started around 1 BC by numerous tribes, the Kalingas, Igrots. They all were into this type of construction. Actually, these here I do believe are Igrots, because I believe the Kalingas, the terraces would be dirt, and I believe the Igrots lined theirs with stones, like you can see here. Here we have Masbate, approximately 600 AD, and this is some of the forging that they were doing during these days. Got a little forge here. almost like a primitive blacksmith shop. This is around 600 AD. Right here we have the Chinese traders of approximately 1200 AD.
Gumawa talaga ng Pilipino lang. Ang nag-design niya po Pilipino lang. Dapat punta kayo dito yung may pasok ng diorama.
This is the coming of Islam in Cotabato. This is I guess when the first Muslims started coming here in approximately 1475. Here we have the first Mass at Limasawa in 1521. I believe this is the first Mass, Catholic Mass, I guess, here in the Philippines. It's 1521 here. And here we have the dreaded Battle of Mactan, which took place on Mactan in 1521. That was when Magellan was killed, and around the time of Chief Lapu-Lapu. Here we have what's known as Legazpi Sikatuna. It's a blood compact. Must have been some kind of deal that he was making with someone. I guess Legazpi over here, and probably the chief of some tribe here. This is in 1565. Here we have the cannon makers, Panday Pira, in 1589. This is Salcedo Repels of Limahan, 1575. I'm not sure what brought this on, but it looks pretty rough. Here we have Brother Juan Clemente's hospital. One of the first hospitals in the Philippines, here in 1570. Over here we have Thomas Penpen, 1593. Guess these are some of the first printing presses. And I guess he set up this operation. And over here, we have the Chinese uprising of 1603. It says here that this is the UST construction in 1611. Not exactly sure what that is. Here's what's called Kudarat's defense. This took place in 1637. Always fighting. We have a Parian scene, 1710. Right next to it over here, we have the assassination of Governor General Bustamante in 1719. obviously did the trick. Over here we have the Dagohoy Revolt of 1744. And over here the famous Manila Galleon, 1750. And over here we have the British invasion, which I never really knew occurred, but it's in 1762, and I guess that's still when Britain thought they were bad. And they were fighting us at the time also. They just figured they were bad about that time, I guess. Over here we have the Santa Ynez mine, 1760s. I'm not sure exactly what they're mining for. But it's obviously worth something. This must be Big Daddy. And over here, we have the first newspaper of the Philippines. This dates back to 1811. Here we have Don Damian Domingo's studio around 1821. And some of his proteges over here. $18.21. This is Santa Ana on Sunday after Mass. And here we have an Escalada scene in the 1860s. Here we have Governor Latorre, his reception in Malacañang in 1869. Here we have the introduction of the tranvías, 1881, a new way of getting around. Here's the introduction of Freemasonry in the Philippines. As you can see, well, this is 1874, and they have some of the people here going through their initiation. Here's Dr. Jose Rizal, 1886, writing one of his famous books, Noli Me Tangere, 1886. Here we have the classic scene, the Katipunan initiation rites, 1892. This is the classic scene on the back of the 5 peso note. Here we have the cry of Pugadlawan. Not sure exactly what that was. And it's 1896. This is just before the Philippine War there. So I believe it's probably some kind of uprising against the Spanish. And here is the execution of Dr. Jose Rizal. And this is one of the main things, well, I would say, that touched off the revolution. It was also in 1896. Here we have the court-martial of Bonifacio in 1897. This one here is the Pact of the Biak Nabato in 1897. Kind of hard to see, but as you can see in the background, you had a little bit of the start of what the Philippine flag looks like today. Carrying on with the war, here's the Battle of Manila Bay, 1898. And finally, the Declaration of Philippine Independence in Kawit, 1898. Here also in 1898, August 13th to be exact, the fall of Manila. Here we have the Malolos Congress, also in 1898. And after the fall of Manila came the fall of Panay in 1899.
Walang ilaw dito?
Over here we have the Battle of Kingwa, April 23rd, 1899. And here we have the assassination of General Antonio Luna on June 5th, 1899. And again, the death of Gregorio del Pilar, December 2nd, 1899. This is the General John C. Bates Treaty, also in 1899. Here's the capture of Aguinaldo, 1901. There he is. Kind of caught him off guard, it looks like. Here we have the Belonging massacre of the same year, 1901. And this is the American retaliation after that massacre. An eye for an eye, I guess. Over here we have the Zarzuela presentation of 1902. Another chapter in religious history. Here's Aglipai when he secedes from the Catholic Church in 1903. Doesn't look like everyone was too happy about him doing it either, I guess. Here we have the capture of General Macario Sakai in 1906. And here's the inauguration of President Quezon as Commonwealth President, 1935. And here's a famous scene. I'm sure most people have seen this before. This is when MacArthur declared Manila an open city, and the Japanese said okay, and they took it over.
Isulatan mo. Huwag matsagala kung tao. Marami na kapag-asawa dyan, American.
Much to the distress of the Filipino people, I'm sure. And that, of course, is 1942. Here we have the classic Battle of Bataan, the battling bastards of Bataan. It is also in 1942.
Baka pag inano mo yung sinagsalita siya ng gano'n na gusto mo makakapit, baka ano siya, baka sabihin, baka ginamit lang siya, o gusto mo siya. Kaya pala eh, sulatan mo. Meron siyang ano sa'yo.
And after the Battle of Bataan, here's the Death March, also of 1942. Marched from Bataan Peninsula all the way up to what is now Camp O'Donnell and Coppice Tarlac. Well over a few hundred kilometers.
Everything's American, Chinese, American. Chinese yun, ano? American.
And here we have the guerrilla activities between 42 and 44 during the Japanese occupation. A lot of this took place up and around the mountain provinces. And here we have the landing on Red Beach with General MacArthur, President Osmania is on Red Beach and Lady, 1944.
Marami din yung kumuha dito ulit.
And this is the last diorama we have here. This is the recognition of the Declaration of Philippine Independence in 1946.